Well, hi folks, Tuesday, October the 5th. Bit sunny today, actually turned into a warm day on Vancouver Island. Trust everybody's fine. As always, or as I usually do, there's a few links in the description section. And a couple on finance. That's always intriguing. You know, you got to look after your own assets, sort of thing. And a couple on the Great Reset and what's actually happening. And of course, that's an interesting concept. Some of these things that we chat about, for those who are disciples of the mainstream media, you don't see this because they don't talk about it. When it happens, there'll be a lot of, as it happens, but there's a lot of surprised people. And who knows why? I guess what's actually happening is sort of beyond the imagination of most people. You know, it would just really be an explosion in the psyche if we all of a sudden acknowledge that there's people out there who would do this to people. Well, so I think maybe that's a reason people just refuse to acknowledge anything that's happening. Just refuse, and go along with the charade of wearing the garb and the paraphernalia that they're now describing. And if people don't think it's changing, just to look at New Zealand, Australia, Great Britain, Canada, and watching what's happening in the U.S., I suppose maybe it depends on which angle you're looking at it from. You know, we all have our own colored glasses that we look at things through, trying to make things look in our own manner. It's pretty much like Trump right now. Everybody is sort of really giving him a thumbs down and what have you. But here's the question: if you're going to follow a real leader, are you going to follow a fellow who is scared of his own shadow and doesn't press forward? Or are you is in behind the pack? Or are you going to follow a leader who steps out in front and goes and does things? And I suppose, we get ourselves lost in the illusion. We get ourselves into that illusion and going off on different light show tangents. But like I say, just to look at some of these countries, what's happening in some of the countries. And, if you're we're in Canada, and just look at what's happening here. Who would have thought? Who would have thought that we'd have people come out of their bedrooms onto a front step and run the continent, and run the country, or try to, and impose all sorts of stupidness on us. But it's happened. It's already happened. So what I'm saying is not something that might happen. It's already happening in many countries. And most people aren't realizing it. Most people are just going on with this whole illusion, the craziness. But I suppose we'll all find out. I don't know. I've been watching a lot of different people on finance and investments in your portfolio and what have you. And most of these people are still in the 1990s telling us 2010 what we should be doing with our portfolios. They are just sort of looking at their own little corner of the universe. They're not standing back and seeing what's happening worldwide or what the IMF is trying to do. Doesn't matter what your local bank is doing and what your local economy is doing. You got to look at this whole big picture. When you stand back, it scares the shit out of you. The reason it's that scary is because most people don't realize it. I was driving into town this morning, and it was interesting. They were talking about a new survey, and they mentioned economists were saying that in places where there's at least 30% of the people are wearing face masks, there's 25% less Wuhan vultures. And I'm thinking, what the hell is that? As compared to what? Where did he come up with this? You know, then I thought, well, if they're economists doing the survey, they're like, well, you know, they're worse than weathermen. At least today, most weathermen get it half-assed correct. But you know, economists are all over the map with their own little theory. But the person reading this on the newsreader on the radio as I'm driving in said, and all those conspiracy theorists who are going to don't wear mask protests won't realize this. That you know, what she was trying to say is masks now really help. And I'm thinking, well, how the hell do they know all that? They're not testing people. In some parts of the country now, you only can get a test by an appointment, and it takes you a coon's age to get your appointment and then to get it done. And then you sort of scratch your head when you're reading reports that some of the tests are sort of, well, maybe 50-50. So it'd be really easy. Everybody could just sort of stand outside an official booth, flip a coin, whatever comes down, you either have or haven't got the virus, sort of thing. It's interesting. But anyway, check out the links and see what you think. Take care. See you tomorrow.